Do you want to run more but just hate running? Does the idea of running make your skin crawl? And you're baffled at how so many others seem to be able to run consistently and actually seem to enjoy the running? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can go from straight up hating running to actually enjoying it. I'm Craig and this is Running Cafe, and despite this channel's name, I actually used to hate running with a passion. My earliest memories stem from high school when it felt like my lungs were going to explode during the 100-meter race at school. Also, I remember the dreaded bleep test, which felt to me like a medieval torture method. We had to run from one side of the hall to the other before the bleep expired. Do that as many times as you possibly could before you got timed out by the bleep. And believe me, I always felt exhausted and like I was going to throw up at the end of it. So it didn't really set the best tone for running for me. Fast forward a few years and things are drastically different now. I now run consistently about 5 times a week. I've done well over 30 half marathons. I've done a few marathons and I've even done some ultra marathons. And last year, I was very happy to have completed my very first ultra marathon of 100 miles. So what changed for me exactly? How did I go from hating running with a fierce passion to actually enjoying it? Well, to answer that, let's ask ourselves first a very basic question. Why do you do what you do? The answer is simple, of course. We do things because there's a reason for it. We eat because we're hungry and we meet friends because we want to catch up. But rather than the reason, there's actually a more powerful motivating force behind what we do, and that is the associated outcomes behind each action. So when we eat, those outcomes are to feel that happy feeling of fullness and satiation. And when we meet with friends, we want to feel that connection of social interaction and feelings like we're supported by our social networks. These outcomes are also why it's so easy to do other things like scrolling through social media for hours or binge watching your favourite show on Netflix for hours, is to achieve those positive outcomes of happy emotions, feeling engaged, feeling stimulated. But we don't always act to achieve positive outcomes. We can also act to avoid negative outcomes. So some examples that spring to mind are rushing through an assignment to make sure that you can hand it in on time to your teacher, or putting your head down at work and getting an important project done for a client for when they're expecting it. In these examples, you may be acting because you want to avoid the negative outcomes of not doing those things. So those are feelings of stress, worry, and just being disorganized in general. Doing things to avoid negative outcomes isn't the best way to motivate your behavior. In those situations, it really does feel like a chore, like something you have to do, rather than like something you want to do, which is the case when you do something to achieve a positive outcome. So how does this apply to running? Simply put, we've got to learn to love running by associating it with positive outcomes. And then over time, you'll actually start wanting to run rather than feeling like you have to run. So a little personal example, I'm running the Mozart 100k Ultra Marathon this year in June, in the middle of summer. It's a 100k run with over 17,000 feet of elevation gain through the Austrian mountains. It's considered by many to be one of the hardest 100k's in the world, but I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Many people would view this as hell on earth and they wouldn't even touch it with a barge pole, but I'm looking forward to it because I want to experience those positive outcomes of adventure. I want to meet other runners from around the world. I want to see if I'm able to challenge myself and push myself to the limits, and I actually genuinely want to do it. So it's really all a question of mindset and having positive experiences of running so that you can associate it with positive outcomes over time. And that really is the key to learning to love running. So how do we go about doing this? I've got 4 methods that you can implement today. Firstly, and probably one of the main reasons that people start running for in the first place, is to start thinking of running as a fantastic way to lose weight and achieve a much better physique. It's undisputable that running is a fantastic form of cardiovascular exercise. It's great for knocking off the pounds, the kilos, to put you into a much healthier and sustainable position in terms of your health. And also when you start looking at yourself in the mirror, seeing those pounds drop off, that's a fantastic tangible result that you can actually lean on to start associating running with that positive outcome of achieving those weight loss and physique goals. So start looking at running as a way to achieve your physical fitness goals and to be healthier, rather than running to avoid the negative outcomes of being fat and out of shape. Secondly, view running as a way to create meaningful social connections. It's no secret that human beings are social animals. We love meeting new people, connecting with others. It's fantastic for our well-being, and running is a fantastic way to achieve this. There are many ways to meet and connect with others as a runner. Do a weekly park run every Saturday morning, enter a running club, enter running events, and also just invite your friends or your family members out for a weekly run, and you'll be able to make much more meaningful, lasting connections. And then over time, you'll start associating running with those positive emotions and feelings that connecting with others gives you, and then you'll start to actually want to run rather than feeling like you have to run. Thirdly, and the thing that helped me the most, is to start viewing running as a sense of adventure. I believe that human beings need adventure in some shape, form or capacity in their lives to grow, develop and change as a person. And what better way to do it than by running? The opportunities with running really are endless. You can enter different events of different distances on different terrains. You can do races in different countries. You can meet new people. You can challenge yourself. You can try and get new personal bests in various distances and various events. So start looking at running as a way to achieve all the positive outcomes that come with adventure, and then you'll start learning to love it. And fourthly, you can view running as your personal, dedicated, quality time. In the modern world, we're all so busy. We've got a million things to do. We're in meetings, we're doing things for friends, family members, for work colleagues. It's very hard sometimes to get a little moment to yourself just to have some dedicated quality you time. You can use running as your dedicated quality time for reflection, listening to something, or just to break up your busy life. It's a really fantastic way to have some quality time. Personally, I love using running as a way to listen to audiobooks, music and podcasts, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm excited to run. So start viewing running as an opportunity to have some dedicated, protected time to yourself, and then you'll start viewing it more positively as you go through the weeks and the months, and then before you know it, you'll have become a proper runner who actually loves the sport. There were just some methods that you can implement today to make your running more enjoyable and to start loving it. If you do those consistently over time, running will then become a habit and you will want to do it without even thinking about it. Believe me, that sounds very far-fetched, but that was absolutely the case for me. I now run regularly without even having to think about it. It's not a chore, it's something that I'm excited to do, and it was very much because that I learned to associate running with positive outcomes. If you enjoyed the video, please like and leave a comment and let me know what you thought. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.